September 28th. Feels good to be back. Just wanted to film a quick video to throw some news stories your guys' way. But before I get into those, I'm going to create a Facebook group for Destroying the Illusion. So that'll be an easier way for me to share articles and posts and shoot the shit with some of you guys. So if you're on Facebook and you want to join, check the description of this video. I'll post a link to it down below. Now into the news. First story, a little bit of backstory on this first story. Roger Stone testified in front of the House Intelligence Committee, I believe, just a few days ago on this whole Russia nonsense. And his opening statements were actually leaked a few days ago. I think they've now been publicly released by him. But what was really funny is a Twitter exchange that happened between John Podesta and Roger Stone. So basically what had happened is that John Podesta tweeted first, he fired the first shots at Roger, and he said, "Lying on TV carries no consequence. Lying to House investigators is a crime." Trying to act like that Roger Stone was lying to the House Intel Committee during his opening statement. Roger Stone tweeted back at John Podesta and said, "So is sex with underage children. Hashtag creepy. Hashtag liar." Absolutely hilarious. I think that's amazing. And what then happened is John Podesta tweeted back at Roger Stone, right? All these tweets going back and forth. It's like we're in high school. He tweeted back at Roger Stone and saying, "Maybe you missed this, but you're peddling a big lie. See Alex Jones eat shit on the topic." And he linked a video. So this Twitter exchange between John Podesta and Roger Stone is fantastic because Pizzagate exposure, again, is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we had a dude who just testified in front of Congress openly calling John Podesta a pedophile and much worse. So that's what I wanted to show you in regards to this story. And yes, it's absolutely real. You can go check both of their Twitter accounts. And yeah, so we're seeing stuff hit the mainstream. If it's, and you know, it's not already hit the mainstream, but even people who brief Donald Trump's administration and are as well connected as Roger Stone are calling this issue real. So keep that in mind. Want to bring you guys towards a couple space news. One is by way of the White House. They're actually having the very first meeting of that National Space Council coming up here on October 5th. And remember, this National Space Council was brought back to life a couple months ago after being basically non-existent or a non-council for 25 years. And now it's brought back to life. It's having its first meeting. And at the very same time it's having its first meeting, it was reported the other day that the Russia and US will cooperate to build the moon's first space station. So what it looks like to me is, again, as some other secret space program whistleblowers have said, there seems to be a rollout of this partial disclosure taking place, right? We're seeing America go into space, taking more leaps into space, I should say, and Russia and the US teaming together to build a space station around the moon. We'll talk a little bit more about some other partial disclosure rollouts in a minute, but I wanted to make that noted if you didn't know about that. Next, I'm going to point you towards some interesting information in regards to climate change, and this saying climate change propaganda is now changing. This video released a few days ago by Suspicious Observers on their YouTube channel basically outlined this new scientific paper that was released, and it was released by this very same people, the very same group of scientists who are propagating that man-made global warming stuff, and they actually formulated the IPCC or the international climate change scientists, you know, the ones that people always say, oh, 97% of scientists all agree. Well, that's because they all get their same talking points from this group I'm talking about right here. And what this group basically did is come out with a new paper that says they overestimated how much heating occurs by carbon dioxide by 50%. So they actually said that humans can now emit 2 to 3 times more carbon than previously thought. So they instantly completely changed everything that people thought they knew. And again, that 97% of scientists that all have a consensus as to man-made global warming are now going to have to change their talking points because they really don't know that much about global warming. They just all get their information from the same core group of people. And this happens not just with global warming, but everything happens in the vaccine. With vaccine scientists, they all get their talking points from the same centralized group out of the CDC, the AMA, right? It's just this same kind of cookie cutter thing happens through every branch of science. So climate change propaganda is now changing. Go check out that video for a little more info. And another piece of information just to slip in there real quick to really hound home the nonsense of this man-made global warming propaganda. Because again, I mean, this topic, it induces so much fear in people that people hang on to the propaganda they've been told very tightly. So this man-made global warming topic, in my opinion, is one of the best ones to red pill people with. That, the vaccine topic, and there's a few others, but these are very crucial to get people to wake up with because of how emotionally tied into them they are. But records see ice growth in the Arctic over the month of September, basically. So another piece of information that shows you it's not just warming trends we're seeing, but cooling trends as well. And a lot of change going on everywhere, not just on our planet, but with the sun and the whole solar system. So there's that. Next, Representative Steve Scalise is back. Remember the representative that was shot earlier this summer while playing baseball near Washington, D.C.? And funny enough, I'm still going to pose this question out there, but was he shot by a patsy that the elites or the deep state had purposefully put out there? Because this representative, Steve, he was just a couple days before that shooting, he was making announcements about combating human trafficking. And these deep staters, that is one of their prime operations that they use for many purposes, money and their rituals and whatever the case is. But think of that, right? Think of that. And lastly, let's talk about Mars, because a few things coming out in the way of Mars news. Elon Musk is releasing his plans to go to Mars. I believe he's actually holding a live event and taking the stage somewhere in America tomorrow to discuss his plans with SpaceX and getting humans to Mars. A lot of stuff coming out about Mars. The United Arab Emirates is making an incredible Mars city that they're building for training purposes. And Lockheed is revealing plans for a Mars base camp that will orbit the Red Planet in 2028 with 6 crew members to search for alien life. Wow, right? Some big things coming out that are totally showing that this whole partial disclosure rollout is underway. And again, they're gonna act like that, you know, once they get to Mars, I bet they're gonna magically announce some invention or discovery of some gravitational anomalies or some ability to use anti-gravity capabilities to get to Mars. There's supposedly another gravitational wave announcement that's coming in the coming days by some conventional mainstream science outlets. So what I'm seeing here is that everything is getting closer and closer. Like, it's not 2050 humans are going to get to Mars. Now it's not 2030 anymore. Now it's like 2022. It's like it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter because they're trying to roll out all these technologies and all of this ability that humanity already has in a shorter time frame, so they don't look bad. But little are they telling us that humans have been on the moon, they've been to Mars, there's been anti-gravity held in secret space projects since the Germans during World War II. So there's just so much they haven't told us and that they need to tell us, or I'm calling bullshit on whatever Elon Musk wants to do. So there's that. And that's the news that I want to share with you guys this evening. So thank you. I will be probably doing a live feed sometime tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday, September 28th. So maybe 18 hours from now for my friends that live across the world and aren't in the same time zone as me. So anyway, just want to say those things. Thank you all very much. Done with this one.